Hi, Michelle Bernstein, PDX Knitterati here. Today I want to talk about accidentally twisted stitches. If you look at my knitting here, my swatch, on this side, these are conventionally formed stitches, and I have columns of V's. This is stockinette stitch, so it's purl on the back, knit on the front, but these V's are open at the bottom, and this results in a nice stretchy fabric, and this is your conventional knit fabric. On this side, you can see that every other row across is conventionally knit with open V's, open at the bottom. And then in between, I've got a little twist at the bottom of all the stitches in that row. Well, why does that happen? In this case, it is because of the way that I formed the stitches on the previous row, on the purl side. So if I look at this knitting, this is a Western stitch mount, the conventional in the West. So the right leg, or the leading leg of the stitch, is on the front of the needle, and the left leg is on the back of the needle. That's called the trailing leg. And it's left or right because this side is connected to the right side of your knitting, and this side is connected to the left side of your knitting on each side of the stitch. So at this point, all of my stitches are conventionally mounted, Western, with the right leg on the front of the needle. What happens here has to do with how I purled on the previous row. And so let's look at what happens when I purl. If I'm purling conventionally, my needle goes in and the yarn goes over and then pulls through. And that gives me a stitch where the right leg is on the front of the needle and the left leg's on the back. But if I take that back out, if I were to purl in the opposite direction, clockwise, this way, when I'm finished, the resulting stitch has let me see if I can do that again. It'll be easier to see on the next stitch. The resulting stitch has the left leg on the front of the needle and the right leg on the back. It doesn't matter which hand I'm holding it in. If I wrap the yarn in this direction, I am going to have stitches with the left leg in front. So let's put it in this hand. I'm not very adept at this with continental knitting, but it's the scoop it through. So I go in and I grab the yarn and I scoop it through, and see how the yarn is going this way around the needle. There's my scoop. There's my scoop. Whoops, sorry, a little bit of seasickness there, but you can see that that left leg is on the front. So I'm going to finish with it in my right hand because I can get to the other side a little bit faster for you. Again, it doesn't matter which hand you're holding it in. If you wrap your yarn in this direction, the left leg of the stitch will be on the front in your new stitch. If I wrap this way, the right leg is going to be on the front. You can do it either way. As long as you get the result you want, you are doing it right. So this is the way I normally do it, but your mileage may vary. So when I flip this over, you can see that these stitches have the right leg on the front of the needle, the leading leg, and the trailing leg is on the back. The ones that I purled clockwise have the left leg in front and the right leg in back. So that is not a problem unless you don't know you're doing it. So here I am knitting the next row, and these are my conventional Western stitches, and the right leg is still ending up on the front. Coming up to my marker. Here are the stitches with the left leg on front. If I go in through the front, whoopsie, as one does, come back, see how I'm making a twist in the bottom of this stitch? So that is why I have those twists in my stitches. Go again. And you can tell it feels tight. When you go into knit, it feels tight. If I don't want those twists in the bottom of my stitches, all I have to do is knit in through the back loop of my stitch, and that will give me a stitch that is not twisted, and it will still give me a stitch that is western mounted, because all of these, no matter how I made them, well, no matter, this is the way I was making them counterclockwise, is going to be conventionally mounted. So this is called Eastern combined knitting, where the knits are wrapped this way and the purls are wrapped that way. Go into a stitch, it'll be easier to see this way versus the purl, which is wrapped from under. And if you just want to get rid of those twisted stitches, then on the knit row, you would go into the back of the stitch, and that will straighten out your stitch. That's it.